Ron DeSantis is the new Republican Party leader. The biggest winner of the midterm elections was, without a doubt, Governor Ron DeSantis, whose landslide victory in the state of Florida was breathtaking. The biggest loser, Donald Trump, whose handpicked loyalist candidates in a number of races struggled to beat vulnerable Democrats. Once again, the former president may have cost Republicans control of the Senate in a year when it was theirs to lose. Many will conclude, on the basis of the midterm 2022 results, that the Republican Party is ready to move on, without Donald Trump as its leader. DeSantis scored a win in Florida that was one for the record books. In Miami-Dade County, a region which President Joe Biden won by 16 percentage points in 2020, the popular governor won easily. Not only was the margin of victory astounding in itself, it also reinforced an emerging reality: Hispanic voters may be shifting their long-term alliance to Republicans. DeSantis won because he embraced Trumpian policies, stood firm against the woke mob, led his state through the pandemic with brilliance, and, more recently, managed the horrific damage done by Hurricane Ian with great competence. Florida residents rewarded the popular governor by re-electing him with roughly a 19-point margin over his opponent, Democrat Charlie Crist. For Donald Trump, the election proved to be, using Barack Obama's word, a shellacking. In Pennsylvania, Dr. Mehmet Oz, handpicked by Trump to represent the GOP in defending a seat being vacated by retiring Sen. Pat Toomey, lost to Lieutenant Gov. John Fetterman. Fetterman suffered a stroke early in the contest, but even as his ability to campaign was severely curtailed, he beat out the celebrity doctor. That was not the only bitter disappointment for Republicans. In New Hampshire, incumbent Sen. Maggie Hassan, thought to be the most vulnerable Democrat running for re-election, survived to keep her seat. Her rival, retired General Dan Bolduc, was another Trump-endorsed candidate who had little political experience. Bolduc was considered a long shot and not heavily supported by the GOP establishment, but polling showed him closing in during the final weeks of the race. In Arizona, similarly, Senate candidate Blake Masters, another Trump pick, failed to beat out Democrat incumbent Mark Kelly. Masters was also a political neophyte who had come from behind in recent weeks. He was buoyed by yet another Trump acolyte, gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake, whose race against Democrat Katie Hobbs is too close to call. It is true that in Ohio, Trump-aligned J.D. Vance won against Democrat Tim Ryan, and in Georgia, Herschel Walker, backed by Trump, looks to have forced incumbent Raphael Warnock to a runoff. But both those Senate candidates were helped by popular governors who pulled them along as they easily rolled to victory. Bottom line, there was no red wave. Trump may be ready to play dirty to win the GOP nomination in 2024. If he does, he will not only cement the disdain with which many in his party view him today, he will once again scorch Republican chances of defeating Democrats. Let us hope that the millions of Americans who have supported Trump in 2016 and again in 2020 begin to see that his time has passed. If they like his policies, they need to move their allegiance to Ron DeSantis, who has never lost a campaign, and who emerged a big winner in these midterms.